Basketball on CBS College Sports is being brought to you by Energizer E-Squared Lithium. Keep going. And by Icy Hot. Gets icy to dull the pain, then hot to relax it away.
Wallace in this missed that three. They showed him missing the three.
Got to be paying attention when you've got fire in front of you, and that's the case here. Oregon Tech on top of Bellevue by 3 here at the break. Jason Knapp and Steve Wolf. And Steve, normally the leading team would be the happy guys going to the locker room. That's not the case, though. Bellevue's got to be pleased to rally back after not playing their best basketball in the first half.
Well, they have to be really excited about it. And I think Coach Eisner said to us this afternoon, you got to play ugly, you got to win ugly, and that's what they're doing right now. They're in the game.
Here's a look at the first half highlights, and the Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls came out. Ryan Feige got started early.
Feige with 8 points, doing it from inside and outside. Also has 3 assists, but he's been held in check by Gray. He's had to push himself away from the basket, as you see that long three, and he gets inside. He's fading away, but Gray's done a nice job keeping him in check. On the other end, though, they got to find somebody that's going to help him out. In the beginning, Wallison did that. He was 2 for 3 from behind the arc. And really, I think the big key here for the Bruins is getting the ball inside. Their offensive rebounding has been a lot better here in the first half. They have 8 offensive boards.
Tucker on the inside delivering 2 more. A look at the numbers in that opening first half, and again, things got better and better for Bellevue as the half went along.
Well, I think the key stat right here, you got the rebounds there, and you got the bench points from Tucker and Thorne, and I think the other thing that they have come back, they were really getting out rebounded early on overall, and now you see that the field goals, the Bruins are getting more attempts at the basket, and that bodes well. Even though they're not shooting well, they're getting more attempts.
Second half coming up on the other side here from Point Lookout, Missouri. Oregon Tech fans making the trip from the West Coast, hoping their squad can bring home a second national championship. We'll get restarted next. Oregon Tech by 3 here over Bellevue, getting set to start the second half of this NAIA Division II Men's Basketball National Championship. You can make your tournament picks with the CSTV Bracket Challenge delivered by UPS at cstv.com/bracket for a chance to win a free trip to the college game of your choice. UPS, what can Brown do for you? Steve, the big dance just around the corner. That play-in game tonight. Congratulations to Mount St. Mary's getting it done for the right to go hook up with the Tar Heels of North Carolina. Any intriguing matchups in your first-round bracket coming up here Thursday and Friday?
Well, you can't say the NCAA doesn't have a sense of humor putting O.J. Mayo against Michael Beasley, USC and Kansas State. But I think there's a number of good first-round games. You know, I think Vanderbilt has got a tough first-round game. You also look at, Butler. Butler having to come out of that mid-major and you can make it done. But I think it's going to be UCLA in the end.
Here's a look at the leading scores. First for Oregon Tech, Feige with 8, Kavanaugh with 6, some others chipping in as well. And Bellevue, Wallison with the 2 3 balls leading the way and balanced scoring from some of the other starters. And while we've got a second, you talk about the big dance of the NCAA. Hats off to the folks here at College of the Ozarks. What a great setting for this NAIA Division II National Championship. And remember, in the big dance, you need 6 wins to get the title. These guys need 5 in 7 days. They run games back-to-back here. It is a smooth ship, great hospitality, and just a fine event the way it's put together overall.
Well, they have 2 banquets, and obviously, if you ever know Branson, this is a wonderful place. A lot of things to do, a lot of shows to go to. All the teams are invited, and actually the meals before the games, it's like fine dining. They treat you so well here, and it's a joy to be invited to do these games for them.
Of course, the dining, everything here, College of the Ozarks, known as Hard Work U. The students here work 15 hours a week to help pay for their education. The school's got a farm, an airport, restaurants, affiliations, so the kids can get the training in some of the fields that they would like to choose for their future careers. Feige, a basketball in his future, wouldn't hop in to start the second half. Pull up and a hit. Cofield knocks it down. That's a long deuce, makes it a 1-point game.
Once again, the Bruins doing it on the defensive end. They got to make sure they limit the easy baskets, and every time Tech goes to the basket, there's a player in his face. They get it done on the defensive end. That's where they rest their hat on their defensive prowess.
And that foul is on Wallison. That's his third, and we may see him exit here early in the second half. He's walking over towards the bench. We'll see. But certainly, as the top three-point shooter, a guy that can start maybe to loosen things up. Well, the Bruins on the inside.
You know, when you have a bad ankle, he said he's had a bad ankle all year long. He is really, really struggling, you know. And I think that right out of the chute, you sit out for a little bit and you come back out there. It's hard to be able to move your feet quick enough because you get a little rust sitting on the bench, sitting in that locker room.
5G hits both from the free throw line. Shoots almost 80% from the stripe on the season. Davon White in to replace Wallison. Gray for three. Deep rebound. Kavanaugh trying to save it. And looks like he does.
Gray 1 of 9 from the field. The only basket he had was on an offensive rebound. I'd really like to see this Bruins team get back to dribble penetration and getting the ball in the lane and take it at the big guys. That's exactly what Tech's going to do back to them.
Dump down there for Daly, trying to get it to his teammate Wetzler. That's knocked away, and that Bruins collapsing defense effective. Boateng, no. Gray, rebound chance, foul.
9th offensive rebound for the Bruins. Gray not scoring well from the outside, but doing the dirty work, working on the glass. This is how they get it in transition. The miss by Boateng, but the follow by throw line.
Gray hits the first. A solid shooter from the line, about 82% during the regular season. Danny Miles looking on. 10th trip for Oregon Tech to the national tourney in the last dozen years. And in 2004, they beat this Bellevue bunch for their lone national title. Davon White came in for Wallison. Now he's out, getting his left leg checked on.
Well, Dave's battled injuries all season long, and just as soon as you count them out, you know, they put on that heroic jersey and they get out and play. And right now, it's a 1-point basketball game, and they are fighting hard to stay within this game.
Thorne returning right now for Bellevue. Hodges, 7 to shoot, puts it on the floor. Lost it, got it back. Tough shot. And Cofield collects the rebound.
That was a good rebound by Cofield. Getting and using his body, realizing the referee's going to let him play. They are becoming more and more aggressive on the boards.
Gray lost that out of bounds. And you see the battle here is Daly almost wiped out one of his opponents and spectators as well.
Touchdown. Cofield had a nice left straight arm pushing him out of the way. But you always play up to the referees. They let you play. You go out there and you got to adapt to them. They don't have to adapt to you. In the first few minutes, the Bruins really were passive. Now they're getting after it.
As if guarding 5G wasn't enough for Gray, that time on the double team, able to leap over and break up that pass. Tough pull-up, gets the roll.
And you know what? That was great defense by John Gray, Jason. He went way out, got his hand up. 5G just kept on elevating, and he's got a beautiful release. Nice move by Ryan 5G.
And again, it's a release that's being helped out right now. Certainly not hindered by a broken finger. 5G's got 12 to lead all scores. Thorne for 3. Knocks it down, and Bellevue has tied it up.
Thorne and Tucker coming off the bench have really been the MVPs for this Bellevue team. Wide open, nobody coming out. Wetzler's not coming out and guarding him. Guys, it's going to throw up 3-point jumpers every time, but right now, he is their offense.
First tie since the first half. 5G, Gray did everything you would want him to do. Except maybe block it.
You'll see, that's as close as you can get without fouling him, and that's his 11th and 12th point. 5G leads all scores.
Oregon Tech had 0 turnovers about 8 minutes into the game and 8 since. And Bellevue on a push. Gray for the lead. Yes!
It's been a long time coming for John Gray. That's his first outside shot. He's averaging just over 17 or under 17 points a game in this tournament.
And we'll see how Bellevue can work with the lead here in the second half. They certainly have the momentum. Daly hit the ground hard in the backcourt. Bellevue pushing up. Thorne, no. And a rebound to Wetzler. Beasley thought about it. Faggi will take it. And there's a foul. It's going to be a shove. Not sure if it's underneath or on Faggi.
Boy, Daly is just getting beat up down there. He looked like a pinball in between the two defenders.
And Daly has been leaving it on the floor. These two teams battling for it all. A national championship here in Missouri. Bellevue by 2 against Oregon Tech here in this Division II National Championship for the NAIA. Rematch of the 2004 final, won by Danny Miles and the Hustlin' Owls, 81-72. Fourth Final Four appearance here in the NAIA for the Hustlin' Owls. And you know, a guy has been successful at a school when he's still coaching there. The court's named after him. They play on Danny Miles Court in Oregon.
Kevin Baker was the MVP of that tournament. Right, Faggi would like to have that honor here this evening.
Miles Daly might get a little consideration if he can keep that up.
He deserved that. After the last 2 possessions, he's been beat up pretty good. It's really getting physical under the boards.
Knotted up again at 32. Bellevue's lead was its first since 8-6 in the first half. And they'll try to forge back in front again.
You know, this Tech team really struggled at the end of the year. They came into this tournament limping. They lost 2 of their last 4 games, lost in the semifinals of their conference tournament on their own home court, on Danny Miles Court. So they really are a surprise here in this tournament and playing quite well right now.
At the other end, Bellevue is surging. 12 straight wins for the Bruins at this point. Corner 3 ball from Beasley. Oregon Tech back in front.
And once again, the ball was in the hands of Ryan Faggi, and he drove into the lane. Nice pass, seeing Ryan Beasley on the wing.
Gray, strong take and 2.
Pace is starting to pick up a little bit. You see right now, Faggi playing the point, 6'7", bigger than anybody on the whole team for Bellevue, and he's playing point guard.
And Gray going to get called for the foul. That's his first. That's very good news for Bellevue. He's been playing good defense, not in foul trouble while working against Faggi, and now starting to get into the offensive flow himself.
A nice stutter step move going to the basket. And since about the 10-minute mark, Bellevue has been the aggressor. They have really taken it to Tech. They need to continue doing that. And that's really good news, as you said, that John Gray only has 1 foul.
Quick hands, Emig tried to get the steal, couldn't. Owls have it back. Faggi breaking down Gray. Turnaround, good help defense from White. Able to get a piece, and now on the outlet. And Davon White fouled, going for that loose ball.
Now, it's so important for Bellevue to have help defense. You see Ray going down, but Davon White coming over and helping out. You got a 6-footer going against a 6'7" guy. That's great help defense.
Oregon Tech in front by 8 in the first half. Bellevue stealing the lead back, and the Owls have jumped in front one more time. Kick out there from Tucker. Nobody home. Gray gonna just pick it up. It will be An over and back violation.
It was a nice idea. Tucker has done a very good job in the low block. They doubled up on him and tried to kick back out of it. Just an errant pass.
Each of these teams have been scoring pretty high numbers so far this championship, both around 80 points per game. A little bit less tonight, but Fiji, he's a guy that can help raise your scoring average. 14 for him now, but defense has been really paramount for both teams.
Well, Fiji was 11 for 22 last night with 30 points, and you know, there's no real answer in this league. He is a matchup problem for any team playing in this tournament because he can do it both outside and inside. And you see his array, his arsenal on the offensive end is limitless. He can take it down low, he can fade away, he can shoot it way deep.
Todd Eisner going back to the bench, upset a little bit with the play of his squad on that last possession. We mentioned that Bellevue came in 12 in a row. Last loss for the Bruins was here in this very building. They lost to the College of the Ozarks during the regular season by 12. And that was back February 2nd, and they have run the table since.
Well, you got a coach, Todd Eisner, who's done a remarkable job since he's moved on to the Bellevue campus. Played his basketball at Creighton. He's had Division I experience as an assistant coach at Creighton, but he really has found his home. His wife, not sure if she made it. She's a principal at public school and was at a teacher and principal conference in New Orleans. Was having some problems getting in, and he was just hoping she was going to make it for tip-off.
They try to get here. Bellevue again trying to win it all for the first time. And, you know, #1 seeds in this tournament have not fared very well in the 16 years of the D2 tourney in the NAIA. Only 4 #1 overall seeds, which Bellevue is, have won the title. The last #1 to win the whole thing was Northwestern of Iowa in 2003. And again, last year, Bellevue lost in the second round as the 1 seed. And Oregon Tech comes into this as the 11 seed. Fiji with 14, Gray with 9. As expected, the leading scorers for their respective squads doing their things, but in a little bit different ways.
Yeah, and I think that Gray has really struggled, and it's because he's playing solid defense on Fiji. I mean, he's really undersized and has to body up. And the one key, though, right now for Bellevue, so Clay Rowe has not really been scoring the basketball. He only has 2 points in this game so far.
Fiji, fade away, rattled out. Rowe grabbed the rebound.
But I'll tell you what, Rowe, that was a great box out. He's boxing out well. He's got 8 rebounds, so he's not doing it offensively, but he is doing it defensively.
Here's Rowe with an offensive chance. Lost the handle. Near the end line, saved Emig. Baseline, got it. That's a 3-ball for Emig.
Hustling again. It should be the hustling Bruins right now. Davon White going over and retrieving the loose ball. Giving it to Emig, and Emig knocking down the 3. He shoots a 3-ball, almost 40%. He's a freshman, averages around 2 points a game, so he's already got his season average.
Couple of big threes for Emig in the quarterfinal win against Bethel. A freshman out of Bryan High School in Omaha.
Right now, Bellevue's doing a great job of helping out team defense inside Thorne and Rowe, but it was a nice move in the lane by Beasley.
Great slashing drive by the junior from New Zealand. And he's a guy, got to be tough to guard, ambidextrous, so he can use either hand effectively, that time with the right.
You see Tech right now, they're cramming up the middle, making sure that nobody gets in the lane and creating those turnovers.
And nobody going to catch Hodges in the open court. Set school records last year, the 100, 200, and 400 meters. Got that basketball ahead of the pack and ran away. Jawan Hodges might be the fastest guy to play for Oregon Tech. Matt Emig, one of the grinder guys for the Bruins. He could shoot it a little too. Tight game, second half. If Bellevue of Nebraska can work from behind, they will become the 7th different winner of this Division II national title in the NAIA in the last 7 years. The Hustlin' Owls, Danny Miles and company would break that string. They won it before in 2004. Chase Wallison battled, bothered by a sprained ankle, and also 3 personal fouls. Best long-range shooter for Bellevue back into the game.
He's only played about 8 minutes and really has been hampered by that ankle. He's not moving quick enough, and I think that's contributing to his foul trouble.
5G underneath, had position, and gets fouled. And if that's on...
It's a push on Gray.
Yeah, that's his second. 4th as a team in the second half for Bellevue.
Talk about being physical. You'll see right here where Gray is defending him, but then he's got to come back. Doesn't recover quick enough. You got to make sure if you're going to go out in front, you got to be able to step back, but lost his footing. He's such a hard guy to guard. You know, you front him, they throw it over top. You know, play behind him, he shoots over top of you.
Beasley able to can a 3-ball.
Well, Beasley is playing very nice. Some of the role players are doing an excellent job. Beasley 3 for 5. He's doing a nice job with 8 points.
Cofield couldn't get the first and fouled on his second attempt.
Great ball movement will get you an easy shot all the time. You see Hodge coming around. It's like a little wheel. Pump fake and drops it on a dime. Trying to get his team fired up. They got a 7-point lead.
Hannibal Cofield able to get the first free throw. 73% shooter from the line in the regular season. Had some issues last night. Just 2 of 6 from the line and 1 of 2 here.
Now you notice he took off his patch at halftime. He had a patch over his eye where he was having some horseplay in the parking lot with a fellow teammate. Was struggling in the first half. 3 for 7 from the field. Took it off. Now he's getting to the free throw line. There's always those superstitious people out there.
This guy's letting it all hang out now. 10 minutes left to go here in the national championship.
5 seconds on the shot clock.
5G just short. Daly hits the deck again with a couple of Bruins. Gray lost the handle and retreats. Now he'll try to break down Hodges. In traffic, draws contact.
Once again, Gray being the aggressor, but you'll see her on the other end. Miles Daly. I think, is that a spare or a strike?
You know, I know Bellevue's color is purple, but Miles Daly is going to have his fair share of purple when he wakes up tomorrow.
He's in the mix all the time.
He will be black and blue in that sometime other shade that pops up after you bang yourself.
He's like a bowling pin or a pinball. He was right in the middle of everything. And actually, I could ask Danny Miles who his most improved player on the team was, and he said he thought that Daly really has come a long way. He's got so much ability. He can play the guard position. He's long, and he said he really gives an extra effort every day in practice.
Gray missing on the second. 5-point split here between Oregon Tech and Bellevue.
Boateng is really putting a lot of pressure on Dwan Hodges outside. The Bruins are going to win this game. It's going to be in the half court. And right now, Tech seems like they're just moving the ball around and just going to settle for running that shot clock down a little bit and trying to get a good shot.
Another difficult shot opportunity there for Hodges. White all the way to the hole.
That is Bellevue's game. Transition, getting it out. You saw how quick Davon White accelerated to the basket. Tech not able to recover and get back on defense.
On the inside, great help defense there from White, but stepped out of bounds.
They are little, but they are quick, and they understand the game of basketball. You'll see right here, Davon White coming from the weak side and coming over and helping Clay Rowe. Good weak side help.
Beasley in major traffic, lost the handle and got fouled. Might have gotten bailed out a little bit there. The ball came loose from his hands before the foul.
Well, I like the fact that he was aggressive and going to the basket. I think that right now, the aggressor definitely at Bellevue, they're getting to the basket, whereas Tech is perimeter oriented. They're trying to pass the ball in there. Sometimes you need to get it in there on the bounce.
Beasley connects on the first.
Beasley has 9 points, and I think he's doing a really nice job. He only averages 6 points on the year, but these last 2 games, he's been very offensive-minded. He was 3 for 5 last night for 8 points.
White checking out for Bellevue. Gerard Tucker returning, and a guy that had some success on the inside of the first half. We'll see if they work to him. Right now it's Gray, and that's an offensive foul.
You see how quick Juwan Hodges is moving over the 5'8" point forward, using his quickness and his acting ability to get the foul on Gray.
That's the third on John Gray.
And that's important because they need him in the game. He has not sat out very much of this game at all.
Fiji in heavy traffic. Gray, again, a little bit out of control. Got it to Boateng, inside to Tucker for 2.
That was a great look by Stanley Boateng. And once again, big number 25 coming through. He has really been extraordinary coming off the bench for Todd Eisner.
3-point game here, under 8 to go. Fiji on the back down, fade away. Got the roll. And again, Gray did just about all he could.
And that's got to be frustrating for Gray because he's doing everything he can in that lane. As you see, my man, Gerard Tucker, just taking over the game. He has 8 points coming off the bench.
Back-to-back buckets for Tucker, back to a 3-point game.
There's really not a whole lot you can do on that fadeaway jump shot because weak side defense isn't going to help you.
And a super surge by Hodges down the lane.
And you know, it opens it up. You got to pay attention to Fiji so much that you have a problem in penetration.
An offensive foul, another charge on Bellevue. It'll be Oregon Tech ball when we come back. Fiji on the fade, and the Owls by 5. The fans of Oregon Tech, the hustling Owl faithful here, making this their home nest in Missouri. Their squad by 5 here, second half of this Division II National Championship in the NAIA. And the Owls with the ball after the personal on Boateng on the charge. That's the 7th foul in this second half on the Bruins, so 1-and-1 time coming up from the line for Oregon Tech. Gray towards the corner, trying to save it. Made a new friend.
Well, you'll notice that every time Fiji gets the ball, there's somebody on the front, there's somebody on the back, there's somebody on the side. And it really is amazing how he can go ahead and drill that jump shot. As you check those numbers out. And, you know, Danny Miles told us, he said, in the 2004 game, we probably made 15, 16 threes. He said, we won't make 8 to 10 in this game.
Fiji got hacked from Boateng from behind. That's the 3rd on Boateng. And Fiji will go to the line with a 1-and-1.
You can actually hear it from here. He's getting pretty good. And if you're going to foul him, you want to make sure that they don't have a chance to make that shot.
Knocks down the first free throw. And Fiji, during the game, announced as the National Player of the Year in the NAIA Division II. Congratulations to him, headlining the first team All-America squad. And you talk about All-Americas in the NAIA over the years. Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Terry Porter, Jack Sikma, Nate Tiny Archibald, Rick Mahorn, Willis Reed, Elgin Baylor. We could be here a while.
Al Addles. Yeah, they had some great ones. It's really interesting to see the tradition here. You know, Fiji's got a brother, Eric, who played at Corbin, who was about 6'9". He's now playing over in Hungary. So this This kid's got a family of athletes. He's putting on a show here tonight.
Gray's bucket. Pushing the Bruins back within 5.
Every time down, Tech is looking for 5G, and Gray is doing a really nice job of trying to deny him the basketball.
Daly from the corner, no. Tucker trying to save it and couldn't.
Since early on in the first half, Bellevue's done a nice job of boxing out and limiting the offensive rebounds by Tech. Tech is just so much bigger, you have to box out against the bigger squad. Every possession, Fige's getting the basketball. The only place that Gray is letting him have it is way out about the hash mark. When he comes in closer than that, it's denial all over the place.
Fige, another tough shot. Doesn't fall this time. And a rebound for Bellevue. We are here at Point Lookout, Missouri. Jason Knapp and Steve Wolf. Championship of this week-long tournament. 32 teams came here for the NAIA Division II national event. Just 2 remain. Oregon Tech and Bellevue of Nebraska. Clay Rowe with the window bucket. And again, the Bruins won't go away. They're like a dog gnawing on your leg. You just can't shake loose, can Oregon Tech.
And Clay Rowe has really struggled offensively. He only has 4 points, averages 16 on a year, but those are 2 big points for him here in the second half.
Oh, Daly, nice little one-handed move for 2.
Daly's got a really quick first step. He's got a nice game. He can play inside, he can play outside. A lot of these kids are versatile. Can play any position.
I see both of these teams have really ratcheted up the defense. Bellevue averaging about 75 a game in the tournament, held to just 49 so far in this one. Danny Miles wants a timeout here with 4 and change left. Todd Eisner's squad hanging around, but still hanging behind.
You'll see Daly pump faking and going to the baseline. A little hesitation and then a pull-up a la Ryan Fige. Little fadeaway on that. But he's got such a nice touch. Averages around 7 points a game. But, you know, it's important when you play in a championship game to play good defense. And as you said, both teams are doing it on the defensive end. You know, the percentages aren't pretty. 43 for Oregon and 38 for Bellevue. But there's a lot of hustle points out there. A lot of defensive stops.
And both of these teams have played tight games so far in this contest, and it looks like this one will come down to the final ticks as well. And the Owl over there is maybe putting in his 2 cents.
You know what he's saying? He's saying to get the ball to Ryan Fige.
Smart Owl, wise Owl.
Yeah, wise Owl.
And if you're wondering too, hustling Owls, you'd think maybe fighting Owls, battling Owls, hustling Owls. Danny Miles kind of came up with that moniker a while back, and it stuck with the school. You see the Hooter Rooters there in the background for the Owls.
Danny Miles was inducted in the Oregon State Hall of Fame in '96. He is really a legend.
Fige, see, they took the Owls' advice.
They said, who? He said, Fige, get the ball inside to him.
20 points now for the senior from Medford, Oregon.
It's important now to make sure you get the ball inside and try to get something to the basket.
Rowe, little turnaround, no. Thorne, yes, the stick back in one.
Thorne doing a great job coming off that bench.
Ben Thorne has been Mr. Second Effort tonight. The rebound and the putback, and Bellevue hanging around. Time to take a look at the Energizer game summary in this 5-point game with under 4 minutes to go. And the field goals pretty square for both squads. Fige with 20 to lead the way for Oregon Tech. John Gray a dozen. And how about Ben Thorne? Chipped in 10 for the Bruins.
It looks like a 3-point game just by looking at the stats. And that's exactly, it's a 4-point game right now. Right now, it's important to continue to look for 5G, and you can't overplay him too much. You give easy layups on the opposite wing.
5G able to kick it to the baseline. The open man is Hodges, and he drains it.
You got to pay attention to 5G, but you got to make sure that you quickly recover. And every time they overplay, Hodges is there to knock down the jump shot. Hodges now with 12 on the game and doing a really good job running the point.
And now Bellevue, the Bruins not the strongest of teams in the half-court offense. Todd Eisner will be the first to admit that. He calls a timeout to try to draw something up.
Well, you see everybody coming over and helping out. You got to make sure you recover. Emig not over there helping out, but that's very good perception by 5G going that baseline and looking for the open man. He's got such a knack for this game, really knows how to play it.
Danny Miles, and we talked about his 4 decades or so at Oregon Tech. The summers, he's done a lot of coaching overseas. Said he worked with Tony Parker in France as a teenager. A guy by the name of Dirk Nowitzki almost was trying to lure him to maybe come play basketball before he was spotted, and
he said he didn't have
a pro.
He said he didn't have $5 million.
As he started his career out, so certainly he's had some talented players to say the least, and Ryan 5G is being utilized quite nicely.
Well, it's interesting that you say that he's got big guys as the shot clock runs down. He's used to coaching smaller guys. His 2014 was not a big team. They were more of an outside shooting team. So it's been a little bit of adjustment for him to work with this big group of guys, you know, 6'7", 6'8", 6'10". But he's doing a pretty darn good job with them.
Wasted possession for Bellevue. Now they need to clamp down on the defensive end.
Everything's going to go through 5G, but you got to make sure you cover up. Rayo playing man-to-man. You can give a hand's worth of help, but you can't go too far out.
Beasley there. You saw the ability for him to switch hands. 4 to shoot. Secondary chance from Hodges. It looks like it'll be a charge.
Great hustle by Thorne, getting back and taking that charge. Ben Thorne has done a great job coming off the bench.
Time to take a look at the Chevron fill-it-up play of the game. And long-range abilities for Oregon Tech have been there tonight. And 5G helping start it.
5G with his 5th assist. Gets it on a nice pass over to Hodges, who drains the 3.
And Gray able to answer right away for Bellevue, and a quick timeout for the Bruins. Boatload of time here left, dude. 1:53 to go in a 5-point contest.
Well, Jason, I think it's so important right now in this timeout that you get these guys to understand that you don't have to go for the 3. And this is a perfect example. Gray getting the ball and taking it all into the heart of the defense because Tech is not going to foul. So you take it in there and get that easy bucket. Now, on the other end of it, you know, you got to play solid defense. You do not have to foul, but you make sure that you give enough to 5G, but you don't make him in to the best passer in college basketball. I mean, you don't double him up and leave everybody wide open for shots or layups.
Gray working harder on the offensive end. He certainly has expended maximum effort trying to slow down Ryan 5G of this wood. Has held him to 20. I know that's not saying something, but again, the guy had 30 in the semifinal, so he's done a decent job.
Well, he's made him shoot 21 shots, so he has 20 points, but it's on 7 for 21. So it's I think he's done a really good job. I think it's affected his offense.
Boateng went for the steal. Corner 3 ball from Beasley, no, and the Bruins push it. Boateng knifing in and gets the roll. And another timeout taken by Bellevue. Hold on, 3-point game with 86 seconds left.
smart move, and I know that is what Coach Eisner's saying in the huddle. Guys, relax, take our time, let's play good defense, and let's take the ball to the basket. They have not really been doing a great job of shooting a three. They're 4 for 10, but they've done a better job when they've been aggressive getting to the basket, and that's exactly what they've done the last 2 possessions.
Well, we've got a moment. Let's look at the Sirius satellite radio player of the game, and it is the leader for the Oregon Tech Hustlin' Owls, Ryan Feige.
So Feige has 20 points. He's done it inside, and he's also done a nice job with that fadeaway. He's also got 4 assists, and he has played pretty much the whole game. Every time down the offensive end, he's had a touch, and he's been definitely the star of the game.
Ball in his hands to start this critical possession here for Oregon Tech. Up 3 with under a minute 20 to go.
There's no need to foul, but if they have an easy layup, you might want to, foul them, but make sure they don't make that layup.
On the baseline, Beasley stepped out of bounds. It's Bellevue ball.
Referee saying it was your foot stepping on the line. You were not pushed out, but that was really good baseline defense on Beasley. And now a chance to be down by 1 or tie it up.
And Bellevue, 4 of 10 from three-point land tonight. Boateng thought about 3. Back out to Rowe. And a giveaway. Steal from Hodges. He'll try to pull it back out. And a foul finally. Give it up. Or check it. It's a timeout taken by Oregon Tech before the foul.
Boy, what a costly turnover. I really think they were looking for the 3. I would have liked to see him make some penetrating move to the basket. But then a perimeter pass. Hodges just getting in the lane and making the defensive stop. And that's really what has happened on both ends of the floor. Defense has been the king here tonight.
Well, Bellevue had the opportunity to square the score and gave it away at inopportune time for a careless pass. And Bellevue tried to end some number 1 seed mystique. The first 1 seed to get to the Final Four since 2003. And that last 1 seed to get this far was also the last one to win it all. Northwestern of Iowa, the team that Bellevue dispatched in the semifinals.
Right now, it's going to be important for Tech to move the ball around quick. They have 29 seconds on the shot clock. Take some time off, and then try to get the ball moving to the basket.
Brent Johnson on the floor right now for Oregon Tech, as they've got some of their best free throw shooters out there in case the need comes to foul. 16 to shoot, 30 left in the game. And another timeout taken by Danny Miles.
13 seconds left on the shot clock. Danny Miles going to draw something up, and I don't see the Hootin' Owl in there. The Hustlin' Owl's not running over there, but I would have to say that it'll be set up for maybe Feige to be picked and then pop out, get a shot, or get something moving to the hoop.
Well, at this point, under 30 to go. Some people would foul right away here and just try to prolong the game. You still want a good, solid defensive possession?
Well, with only 13 seconds left on the shot clock, you're down by 3. I think you take your chances. It's going to be hard, the way Bellevue's been playing defense, it's going to be hard for Tech to get a good shot. It's got to make sure that if they go straight to the basket, you foul them hard. Don't let them have a three-point play on either an outside jumper or an inside drive.
Feige, the trigger man on the restart. Into Johnson. And Feige now in the corner. Back to Johnson. 6 to shoot. Hodges will put it on the floor. Hanging pull-up short. Foul is called. Tucker can't believe it.
Well, it was a clear out for Hodges coming through the lane. They kept Feige on the side. It was a one-on-one play. Boateng against Hodges. There you see. And he got a little bit on his arm. That was a good call. Very good call.
Hodges, 69% shooter from the line. The first one is true.
And that makes it a two-possession game. That makes it really hard right now, so it really doesn't matter if he makes this or not. For Bellevue, they need to get down and get a quick shot. If he makes it, they got to come down and try to get a quick two. Don't look to get in the three and then foul immediately.
And Todd Eisner called that timeout to try to set up something off the make or miss at the other end. Danny Miles diving back into that huddle. 37 years at the school. He's also been an assistant coach for the football team. Coached baseball, softball at Oregon. It's certainly a guy that grew up in that part of the state, has stayed there and embraced it and built quite a legacy for himself.
Yeah, we asked him, what keeps you there? And he says, I love the school. I love the school. I love the area. My family loves the area. It's been very good to me. So he is one of these guys, very loyal. He could have moved on because he's had a lot of success. But you got to give him a lot of credit for what he's done with this team. It's a different team than he's coached in the past, and he just adapts.
See the fans there for Oregon Tech trying to implore their squad to hang on. They're just 16.4 seconds more.
But Wallison's in the game. He's their three-point shooter. He's been limited minutes-wise because of an ankle injury, but maybe you try to go down and get that quick two, or maybe you try to dribble, penetrate, and kick it down.
Great showing for Juwan Hodges tonight. Has the chance to make it 14 points. Does. Second leading scorer for the Hustlin' Owls behind Fiji.
Got to do something quick.
Walson trying to get away. Does. Short on the three. Rebound Fiji. He's grabbed by Gray, and that may do it. The Hustlin' Owls starting to celebrate. 5-point cushion with 5 seconds left.
And it's only fitting that Fiji gets a rebound and he goes to the free throw line. The player of the year in the nation right now with 20 points. Has just played a whale of a basketball game.
And the fans here are chanting MVP as he drills the first. They may be right. And Danny Miles can start to celebrate too. Win number 847 of his career, gonna be especially sweet because it's national championship number 2 for the Hustlin' Owls of Oregon Tech. I do believe the celebration is underway in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Oregon Tech, national champs again. Back in a moment.